Are you ready for the top 12?
Probably not.
It's been a fun process.
2 weeks out and $20,000 down.
Lots of people that I feel like I represent, so.
Top 3 software or tools that you can't live without.
Don't hate me, but TikTok is life. I'm not a creator of TikToks. I'm more of a consumer. And some of the memes and the formats and the creativity that comes out of that app is like astounding. And I'm like, it would be dumb for me to not look at this because it's so relevant to my audience. And like the way that people are creating videos is really creative too. So that I could not live without. Low-key, probably Instagram as well. Like I really like social media. Like I actually really like it. Let me have a think. I really like photo editing apps lately. I have this one called PixArt, which is really fun. And like, it's just like, I spend a few hours, like not a few hours, probably like an hour, like having fun and editing photos because I really enjoy seeing something a bit different on the old Instagram feed. I don't know, like lately I've just been doing it heaps and I'm like, I don't know if people are vibing this. I'm having fun putting like glitter in the background for no reason. I just think it like does really make you sort of stand out from the pack when you are scrolling and you see like someone's done a cool edit. I'm like, when I see that, I'm like, wow, they took a lot of time. I wonder how they did that. Like, you know, and that was effort. And so I'm like, they want me to see this. So I'm sort of like, I'm going to do that, but I also really enjoy doing it. I don't see it as like a vanity thing for myself because I'm not really face tuning where like, I'm not like moving my body parts around. I'm just like, I really want a cool background. I really want to like put a stripe in this. And like, I don't know, like, and I see other people doing it and I get really inspired by that. And I'm like, I want to copy that. Like, it's never me being original, being like, I thought of this. Like, no, I saw someone else do that. And I'm like, that's cool. I'm going to do it.
I'm gonna do it.
Excel, PowerPoint, and Google Hangouts. Okay. Those are tools that I think every startup founder needs. Excel, you know, I had the benefit of having done investment banking and they really grind into those hard skills. It is not, it is a very approachable software at the end of the day. It is not rocket science like everybody likes to make it out to be. I think people like to think that what they do is really hard. So they tell people it is. It actually is really easy to learn. The trick is learn how to do everything on your keyboard without using a mouse. You'll save tons of time down the road. But for, you know, it is a financial modeling tool. I think what our platform does in the first personal finance space is all about giving people tools to understand finances. Excel is one of those tools. And when you're looking at things like valuing businesses, valuing stocks, as we are pitching venture capital firms, Excel is something that's absolutely necessary. PowerPoint is the next step of that. And that's taking the learnings that you generate through financial modeling in Excel and putting them in a narrative that is interesting, that is compelling, that tells the story of your business or whatever it is you're trying to describe. And, you know, it doesn't need to be PowerPoint, but just something that can create that presentation that tells your story. I think storytelling is such an important skill. It is a soft skill. It is not one that is taught as a technical thing in high school or college, but it is so important being able to tell your story. Then the last piece, you know, we are in the pandemic era and Google Hangouts is I think it is a totally free service, and it has been phenomenal for our team being able to connect. I mean, as the team grows, I think the other day I sent out an invite to something like 15 people, and I thought, what's the limit on Google Hangouts? Am I going to hit that? I you know, no pun intended, Googled it, and it's 250 people. You can get
wow, which is enough for most people. You would say that it's basically enough for everyone.
Yeah. So that's awesome. The answer, the fun answer, software I can't live without, Mario Kart, Super Smash Brothers.
LinkedIn is kind of number one for me right now. I'm getting the most kind of ROI, if you will, with LinkedIn. Asana I use the free version, but it's my go-to project management tool. And the last one is a tie between ConvertKit and Squarespace. My website is hosted on Squarespace and I'm just so illiterate when it comes to website building. So that was great for me. But ConvertKit, I'm kind of geeking out about. They have an amazing content marketing program. I mean, their webinars they put out, their trainings, their workshops are really, really solid. And as a brand new entrepreneur building my contact list, I would recommend it as a tool for sure.
For me, Salesforce.com is a technology I can't live without. But then also Tableau. That is a sort of a BI dashboard that is able to distill the nuggets that we've actually built on top of Salesforce.com, where I can see everything that I need to see in exactly the format I need to see it. I love it.
Does Spotify count? I need that music.
Yeah, of course. Spotify, anything else you use?
It's funny because I only really started using it like in the last few months. I used to just like either listen to music on YouTube or I'd have the files locally, but oh man, Spotify just takes it to a new level. It suggested me so many new songs I never would have found. It's great.
It's awesome.
I hate saying this, but I feel like I couldn't live without Excel because it's double-edged sword, but yeah, that gets all my graphs done.
Yeah.
Otherwise, keep it simple and I'll go with Notepad. That's what I use to take all my notes. It's a bit of a mess and I could probably find something better, but yeah, just dump everything in a text file.
VS Code, Visual Studio Code is what I use for development. We use Slack for sort of communication. And then, those would be the two biggest things. And then probably just Gmail, or email in general. And for me, that's using Gmail, but that's really the three sort of killer things that we need.
Yeah, two questions there. How do you handle your support? What software do you use for support ticketing, and do you recommend them?
Yeah. So for that, we use a company or a product called Groove. Groove, I think it's groovehq.com, which is similar if you know the kind of that sort of support software space to Help Scout is another one like that. But we really like Groove. I think that it's a good product, and we've been that's what we've been using ever since we sort of launched Charitable, and I've been really happy with it. And so yeah, definitely check it out.
Yeah. And do you use anything to analyze your numbers, like your sales, churn, things like that?
Yeah, I use Google Sheets, and I'm actually a real spreadsheet nerd. So I actually really like building elaborate spreadsheets. And that is one of my elaborate spreadsheets that I've got that just keeps track of all that. So that's actually the main thing there. And then we use like MYOB for accounting.
Yeah.
So that side of things. But that doesn't sort of give the insight into the sales as well as my
your
amazing
Google
spreadsheet does.
Yeah.
Microsoft Office 365 and SharePoint. It's there. No matter where you are in the world, you can get access securely, and you can use it. Internally within the company, the intranet, which is, for those that don't know about intranets, it's just a central place to go to find out the key pieces of information, the knowledge base that occurs within the company, so you don't have to find it in all the places that are usually hidden in a business. And thirdly, our strategic planning tool. I look back on that every day. Where was I supposed to go? How am I getting towards it? They're the three pieces of software that I can't do without.
What tool is that? Is that a tool that you guys have developed, or is that an external sort of software that you've purchased?
Again, I do purchase the strategic planning software. It's called Line. It's made by actually a company that works with the person that came up with the Rockefeller habits, Vern Harnish.
Oh, okay.
So again, I can start the day every day by looking at an electronic version of a huddle, prepare the week with the electronic a way of recording what I plan to do, and most importantly, what people said last week that they were going to achieve, so we can hold each other accountable to it. And then in the long run, what's our purpose? What are our core values? All those things are there in perpetuity, and we can review them regularly.
Oh gosh, Google Analytics, tick. Canva, tick. And then, third one, I think that Elementor I couldn't live without. It's a
WordPress plugin.
WordPage. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. How do you ticket your events? Do you use a event ticketing platform like Eventbrite or?
No, we did for a long time. I ended up getting a little bit frustrated with all of the ticketing platforms out there, because even if you're not for profit, they still take money from the gross sale. And so I was thinking to myself, I'm just going to build one. So we use one through cambergals.com.
Love this. My website for Send and Shred is with Shopify, and I adore Shopify in every way. My website for Carbon Diet is Strikingly, and I adore them. They just give the most marvelous custom support, and they're just so drop and drag. It's all got to be drop and drag. And I also use Canva Pro, which again is drop and drag design, and it is fantastic.
So can't live without Klaviyo. So for those who don't know what it is, it's a email and SMS remarketing platform. And basically it makes it easy to send out daily EDMs to your client list, I guess. And you can send out, discounts and vouchers. You can do A and B testing on there, see what images work, what don't. And it really just brings back those people that you might have lost business with back onto the store. And it's highly, highly, highly recommend that one. Another one would be, of course, Facebook Business Manager. This is all your digital marketing tool, and where you can do all your paid ads. You definitely need this when you're first starting out. Even if you don't put too much money in, you need to have that presence to go out to like a cold audience essentially, so they know about your business. And then thirdly, I use a lot of apps. Apps on my phone. I love to do everything on my phone. So I have an app called Iconosquare, which is a post scheduling tool. So if you're very time poor, you can actually the week before plan out what you're going to do. I use an app called Preview to do that. You can move around, how your social feed is going to look, upload that onto Iconosquare. And they also give you a bunch of metrics as well. You can spy on competitors, what their best hashtags are. You can see your own metrics, what people are liking, how many views, et cetera, et cetera. Hashtag Expert is a great app as well. If you're time poor for hashtags, just download that, type in your niche, whatever it is. It could be women in business, and it will come up with 1,000 hashtags that you can use, and you just click them all, save, upload onto your post. Easy.
Yeah, so the first one is Trello. I don't know if that needs any more explanation. I feel like a lot of people are using it these days, but yeah, it's basically my brain dumped on my screen, which I love, and I feel very free because of it, I guess. The other one is it's a manufacturing resource software, which is basically the reason that I now know what's going on in my business. I think there's a lot of different ones out there, and for us it was just the challenge to find the right one. Like there's small ones for really small businesses that are mostly like kind of Etsy businesses, and then there's massive ones. So I felt it was kind of a task to find the right one, because we're kind of in the middle of that. So the one I found was called MRP Easy, and yeah, we just put everything in there, all our recipes, all our raw materials, all our sales, and it's made all the difference. The third one is I had to laugh when I wrote it down. It's in a Xero extension called HubDocs, which they added at the start of the year, which for some reason I find it very hard to keep track of all my receipts through the years. I don't know why. It should not be that difficult, but somehow I wasn't. It was just very hard. And then HubDocs says you can just scan and it matches it up, and it just takes that task away, which is great. I love that. I actually have a fourth one as well, which I use for my personal finance, called Pocketbook, which I love because it's a budgeting app and it keeps track of all your expenses.
Slack is a big part of my life now, which I never thought it would be, but it has become that, to discuss with my team. email, I have a love-hate relationship with, and I use Gmail, but I'm struggling with email these days. Like, it's just become this stream of emails that it's hard to keep up with, and because it's too many marketing lists I'm on or something like that. And no matter how many times I've gone through this process of getting back to inbox 0, and yeah, it never seems to last. So things like Slack I like, because they're actually built around this concept of a conversational stream. So that type of, I think we're shifting, in terms of that transactional conversations to become more Slack-like.
Google Chrome, if that's like a very 101 type thing, but using a lot of different browsers, that's like my favorite one. On my phone, I use Lightroom a lot to edit my photos as well. And I'm just going to be boring and say LinkedIn, because and I know they're kind of applications, but they're my favorites.
That's a tool. So would you say LinkedIn is your most used social platform and networking platform?
Yeah, it is. And do you know what's so funny? When I'm out and about networking, and to some of the younger people, they're just kind of like, "Oh, I've got Instagram." I'm like, "Oh, do you have LinkedIn?" And they don't have it yet. So I always feel like a bit of a nana in that space. But I just encourage them, get on LinkedIn, and also not sponsored by LinkedIn, but I'm a very big advocate for it, because with all these different jobs as well that I've had throughout my career, it's a great way to stay in touch with everybody.
I can't live without. I use it software or hardware.
Either.
My phone, my laptop. What
apps do you sort of rely on? What do you use for emails? What do you use for?
It's not a good thing, but because I've got so much going on, I have to. My phone. I'm constantly on my phone, which isn't, like I said, it's not good. Sometimes the kids are saying, "Get out the phone, Dad." But, we have so much access to technology, and I'm always just scrolling through and checking my emails, and I have my laptop everywhere. But, that's a part of my life and part of my business, and that's what allows me to have the flexibility to work from wherever and still make money. And be a successful business person. I need to be able to do that. So, but I do need to switch off.